What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. I'm not in a green screen. I'm in my room, so I created a new template, but we'll be back to the green screen very shortly. Be sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops to your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Also, share this out. As usual, I say this every Roster Bubble video. It's dead time at the NFL offseason. So when content creators try to be creative, the algorithm sometimes isn't necessarily friendly to them, and they don't get as many views as they would in the regular season. So share this out to a couple of different communities, Giant fans, NFL fans, whoever. Gets out to more people. But we have had surplus in subscribers lately. We're at 481 right now. And let's get to 500. Let's get to 500, halfway to monetization, halfway to 1,000, and then we could possibly start with memberships. And also at 500, we could probably start doing community notes, so I don't have to post on Twitter all the time. And I know some of you guys are not really active on Twitter, and you guys will just get it through YouTube, which is a lot easier than trying to put it on 700 different platforms. Boys in the Big Apple does return tonight at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys saw my announcement on Twitter, I'm going to make it again on Boys in the Big Apple regarding the late Tony Sirico. So if you haven't read that on Twitter, I'll make an announcement tonight. With that being said, we're going to have a little bit of an inconsistent schedule in terms of Boys in the Big Apple, because next week we'll be, or at least me and Luca will be in Atlantic City. So probably going to do either a Wednesday show or not a show at all. So summertime, going on vacation, it's weird with the schedule. But anyway, with that being said, roster bubble video number 29. Sandro Platzgummer, as you can see, is the candidate / profile today. And how I do these videos, I take a player that's on the roster bubble, then I go into their background, then their competition, and then how they could win, how they could lose. So Sandro Platzgummer, he's an odd character. He's probably one of the odder characters of the roster bubble series, because you don't really know too much about him other than 2 preseason games, and a lot of people really haven't looked up the rules in terms of him coming over from Austria. Obviously, the last 2 years he's been able to, be on the practice squad. I think that 2-year rule has ended for him, because I think there's like a 2-year rule where it's what do you call it? You could have like European players come over, and then I think they become official NFL players, or they go back to their country after 2 years. It's I think it's sort of like the NBA. I don't think so, but anyway. So we haven't seen much exposure from Sandro Platzgummer. We really don't know what he does best. We really don't know what he isn't good at. Though I did track his stats down from the preseason. Last year, against the Jets, he had 4 carries for 51 yards. His longest was a 48-yard run out of the end zone, and that got the Giants into slowly field goal territory. It was in the Jets' territory, but they never got there because Clayton Thorson was their quarterback. Then, the next game, he didn't play at all against the Cleveland Browns, which shocked me a little bit. But they obviously wanted to give Corey Clement and Devontae Booker more exposure. Then in the third game against the New England Patriots, he had a carry for 2 yards. So 5 carries, 53 yards in the preseason, and 5.3 yards per carry, which isn't bad, but you have to take a look at the inside stuff, which means he had a carry of 48 yards. Take that away, and how many yards does he actually have? He has 5 carries for 5 yards. That doesn't look too shiny. Now, once again, I will campaign for him in this situation, because the backup offensive line was terrible, and it was one of the worst backup offensive lines I think I've ever seen. Jackson Barton, Jake Burton, Jonathan Harrison wasn't too bad, though. And there was a couple of the guys on the offensive line that just didn't belong there. I mean, they weren't even good to be practice squad players. Anyway, let's take a look at his competition. Antonio Williams, Gary Brightwell, Jeremiah Hall, Matt Breida, and Jashawn Corbin. So he does come in pretty much as the underdog, and a very, very heavy underdog, because him and Gary Brightwell are at the bottom. Meanwhile, Antonio Williams, Matt Breida, and Jeremiah Hall are at the top. You guys pretty much all know what I've said about Corbin, Williams, Brightwell, Breida, and this is pretty much the last one on the running backs unless they sign another running back and I make him a roster bubble candidate. But with that being said, he is pretty much at the bottom of the pan on this one. He's at the bottom of the bowl. I don't know what expression, just to put out to you guys. But, yeah, he's the biggest underdog right now. So he needs to really have a good camp. Really needs to show these coaches in this new regime that he does have talent for the NFL level rather than just being in the European leagues and whatever he was before that. So how can he win? Show some skill as a receiving threat. Show some speed as a runner. Showcase special team skill sets. Block well on third down. I don't know how many assignments he will have blocking on third down, but if you have that skill, it always adds to your resume. And even if he doesn't make the New York Giants roster, I guess other teams will look at him. Possibly a practice squad candidate or maybe a guy on special teams. It'd be interesting to have a European player who hasn't really played much in the NFL be on your roster as a special teams guy. But I haven't really seen any, I would say, skill set from him that tells me he's a receiving back. Obviously, he showed some speed on that 48-yard run against the Jets last year. But other than that, 5 yards, 5 carries, I mean, doesn't really show much there. Special teams, I don't know if he got I can't talk today. I don't know if he got too many reps on special teams. I don't think he got many, though. But it always adds to your resume. I think at this point, for Platzgummer, because he's very much down on the depth chart, at least the imaginary depth chart. With that being said, I think these just add to his resume. What he can do, he can do. What he can't do, he can't do. And it could possibly land him a spot in the European League. It could land him a spot with another team, with another league maybe. So I don't think it's totally dead, his dream of being an NFL running back, or at least a football running back. How he can lose, doesn't showcase any threats as a receiver or flashes as a running back, lacks the ability to block on third down. I'm going to say flashes as a running back as is probably the most hurting. If he doesn't show any flashes other than a big run, I mean, that's not really what the coaches look for. We already have home run hitters. Saquon Barkley. If they wanted to keep Jashawn Corbin, he can be a home run hitter. Matt Breida is a receiving back and a blocking back, and Antonio Williams is just another backup back, and Jeremiah Hall is can do a lot of things. He can do a lot of things. But if he doesn't show flashes as a running back with speed and vision and stuff like that, the basic stuff that running back coaches look for, I don't know how much of a chance he'll get on this, get in this, I should say, competition. But with that being said, I do have Sandro Platzgummer being cut. I don't think he's going to make the roster. I think a lot of people have, cut him off and said, he's not going to make the roster. At least, I explained my reasons in this video with the stuttering and the mumbling and all that shit. But I don't think Sandro Platzgummer's make the roster. I don't know if he has much of an NFL career ahead of him. Maybe, once again, in the European League, in any of the independent football leagues. But we'll see where he goes from there. I don't think maybe he was a rugby player. I don't think he was, but if he was, that's another career. Always good to have multiple things on your resume so you know where to go if one fails. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Boys in the Big Apple tonight, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out. See you later. Stay cool.